Okay, we're diving into something that feels straight out of science fiction, but I promise you it's happening right now, all around us. It's this invisible battle being fought with algorithms. And the prize? Well, it's truth itself. Let's get into it.
And look, that's not just some dramatic line to grab your attention. It is the central challenge of our digital age. What happens when the very evidence of our own senses can't be trusted anymore?
So here's what we're going to cover. First, we'll get a handle on the problem. Then we'll look at the very real dangers. After that, we'll see how AI is kind of weirdly both the problem and the solution. And finally, we'll talk about what all this means for the future of truth.
So let's start at the beginning. Before we can even talk about defending ourselves, we have to understand the weapon. What exactly are we dealing with here?
So what even is a deepfake? Well, simply put, it's synthetic media. You can think of it like, I don't know, high-tech digital puppetry. But instead of strings, it's using incredibly powerful AI to put someone's face onto someone else's body, creating fake content that looks shockingly, convincingly real.
And here's the thing you have to understand. This tech is not standing still, not even close. It's getting better and better at insane speed. The fakes that looked kind of clunky just a couple years back, now they're becoming almost impossible for the human eye to tell apart from reality.
All right, so we get what they are, but so what? Why is this so much more than just a clever party trick? Let's get into the real-world implications, because honestly, the stakes could not be higher. The threats here are huge, and frankly, pretty scary. Think about politics. A fake video of a world leader declaring war could cause global panic in minutes. Or in the world of finance, what about a perfect audio clone of a CEO's voice authorizing a multi-million-dollar fraud? Then there's the personal level. It can be weaponized to ruin reputations, for blackmail, for harassment. But the one thing that connects all of these, it's the slow, steady chipping away at our trust in everything we see and hear. This table really hammers it home, right? It takes it from this big, abstract idea to something concrete. We rely on a baseline of trust in our daily lives, in politics, in business, even in our personal relationships. But when a deepfake gets thrown into the mix, reality itself becomes the weapon.
So far, I know, this all sounds pretty dark. But here is where the whole story takes a really fascinating twist. The very same technology that's creating this mess, it also holds the key to cleaning it up.
And this is the central paradox, the real kicker of the whole thing. The AI that's trained to create a convincing fake face has to learn all the tiny, subtle, invisible rules that make a real face look, well, real. So the AI on the other side, the good guys, it just learns to look for any time those rules are broken, even in ways our own eyes would miss. Which brings us to the counterattack. We're now seeing innovators developing these incredibly sophisticated tools to fight back. We are literally using AI to beat AI. Our arsenal in this fight really has three main weapons. You've got AI detection, which is all about hunting for fakes after they're out in the wild, but then you have proactive stuff like digital watermarking and provenance analysis. These are more like a digital birth certificate, helping us prove where content came from in the first place. So, how does this AI detection actually work? It's pretty amazing. The AI model just chews through the data, looking for microscopic clues that we would never, ever notice. Like it can spot weird blinking patterns or unnatural movements. It can even detect inconsistencies in something called photoplethysmography. That's the tiny shift in skin color when blood pumps through your face. Real faces do it, but fakes often mess it up. It then spits out a score, telling us the probability that what we're looking at is a fake.
And it's not just about finding fakes later. These proactive tools are also a huge deal. Digital watermarking basically sneaks an invisible signal into a video the second it's created. And provenance analysis builds a secure log of a file's entire history. You put them together, and you get this verifiable trail. You can finally ask, where did this come from, and has anyone messed with it?
All right, so let's bring this all together for our final section. Because as amazing as these tools are, this isn't a war that gets won with one magic solution. This is a constant, evolving struggle.
This timeline really puts it all in perspective. We went from these little academic experiments to today, where both the creation and the detection of fakes are incredibly advanced. And for every brilliant new detection method that comes out, a new deepfake AI is already being trained to get around it. It's a perpetual technological arms race.
So here's the most important takeaway. Our defenses can't ever afford to stand still. This thing requires constant innovation. It requires tech companies, researchers, and governments to work together. And maybe most of all, it requires all of us to be a little more critical, a little more aware of the world we're living in now.
And that leaves us with the biggest question of all. When technology can blur the line between what's real and what's fake so perfectly, the challenge stops being about software and starts being, well, deeply human. How do we as a society figure out what and who to trust? That's a question we're all going to have to answer together.